Hello, welcome back. Thank you for joining me today. And Merry Christmas to all of you. Today is December 25th as of this recording. So I hope that you're enjoying your holiday wherever you are. Let's get right into chapter 12 of the text. We're talking about the judgment of the Holy Spirit. Now, in fact, that's the title of section 1 of chapter 12, the judgment of the Holy Spirit. So, a couple of words by way of backdrop today. The judgment of the Holy Spirit is not to be feared at all. It is in absolutely no way like the judgment that we heap upon ourselves and others here in the world, where we draw one boundary after another, we erect one wall after another, one separation after another, and we judge ourselves and other people, in other words, ourselves, because there's no difference, as lacking. We judge ourselves as ridiculous idiots, complete morons, and worse than that, as devious scumbags. You could use a lot stronger language, but you get the point. Here we heap one judgment after another upon ourselves, and the Holy Spirit's judgment is entirely different. So we'll get into that and what that is and how simple it is. It's the title of today's discussion. Every loving thought is true. Every loving thought is true. What we're looking at here that we don't realize through no fault of our own, but we don't realize how much damage we do to our own mind because we've been conditioned to see ourselves as separate. And in other words, we've been conditioned to see things completely backwards. We're not trained, nor are we, most of us, encouraged in the world growing up to see things as they really are. We're rather conditioned and indoctrinated, because that's really what's going on after all. We're indoctrinated to see things that aren't actually there and to take it for our reality. This course is all about the clarifying of our perception, where we learn to see things as they really are. So, as we run amok in the world and we think we're individual human beings, self sustaining survival units, units of economic cooperation one day, but competition all the time, because your neighbor's always clearly out to get your stuff. So we're told. So we're bludgeoned with a message again and again and again. We don't see things as they are, and we react to our interpretation of them. Because we don't see things as they are, we misperceive and we react to our interpretations. We respond to our own individual pictures of how we think the world is. We don't respond to what is really there. We don't see things as they are. And what happens here is we continue to spin. We continue to run on the veritable hamster wheel and dig ourselves deeper and deeper into this pit of suffering, which is exhausting, excruciating, painful, and it sucks. Doesn't it? It's why you're interested in spirituality, because you've sought at some point here, whether you were consciously aware of it or not, you've heard the call of our inner teacher and you've sought to head out on the path to peace. You're on what we call the spiritual path. a journey, walk, trajectory, marathon sprint, 110-meter high hurdles, whatever you want to call it. Looks like there's hurdles sometimes, huh? So maybe that's an apt visual. What's going on here in the world is that we're responding to things not as they are, but as we interpret them. So we react to our interpretations as though they're true. We assume our own interpretations are true. We assume that it's true that our brother who posts something we don't like on social media is an idiot. We just take that for granted as though he really is an idiot. We assume things. If we were in court, someone would, I hope, our attorney object to facts not in evidence, assuming facts not in evidence. It's not true. None of this is true. It only appears here. It's an appearance. Our brother is not separate from us. So when we read somebody's social media feed, I love to use that as an example because, I mean, it's 2023, and what better example could we come up with? Because it's in our face. And when you put this video down, you're if you're watching it on your phone, you've got all of your apps just right there, and you can scroll this or some other Facebook channel, YouTube channel, TikTok. There's going to be something, Twitter. Oh, yeah. Somebody is going to say something that you disagree with. And what do? We rush to judgment. We interpret what someone says as either something we agree with or we disagree with, or we don't care, and we keep scrolling. But we form a judgment. We're interpreting things. We're not seeing things as they are. And we react to our interpretation as though it were wholly and completely true. And we may be able to control our behavior. You may not type a message into this social media platform condemning your brother, though we see plenty of examples of people doing just that all the time. Bewildering, isn't it? The ridiculous wars that people engage in social media, all of them futile, completely futile. Nothing to be gained from that in any way. So you could refrain, you could control your behavior, but you can't control your emotions. You can't control yourself emotionally on this. You think your brother's an idiot. You read it, you think he's an idiot. That's our habitual reaction. So, what we're doing here is we're learning to replace this habitual judgment with forgiveness, with true forgiveness of the Son of God. And his ridiculous tweet or his ridiculous Facebook post gives us the opportunity to do just that, to forgive. We have countless such opportunities every day, every day. And the question is, are we going to be aware enough to see them so that we may then seize that moment, in a manner of speaking, and learn our forgiveness lesson that is presented to us right here, right now, in our face, in our experience? We have many of these every day. It's a gift. You could choose to see it that way. So here is, again, the Holy Spirit's judgment. Every loving thought is true. Simple. And it is true. Every loving thought is true. How can this be? There is only love. God is. Again, if you've watched some of these videos before, what's coming next is a really important component here. When we say God is, and fall silence, period, mic drop, what is implicit here is very important. Only, the word only God is. All else is illusion. Therefore, only loving thoughts are true. They're the only things that can even be said to exist here in this world, which is itself illusion. So, here's the important practical component for each of us. If only loving thoughts are true, everything else is an appeal for healing and help. It's a call for love. Only loving thoughts are true. All of these non loving thoughts are not true, and they're a call for help, a cry for help, if you want to see it that way. A call for healing and help. What is the appropriate response to our brother's call for help? It's to help him. That is the appropriate response. Of course, we know this to be true, yet we react quite differently, huh? And we're invited to bring present moment awareness to each situation where we catch ourselves calling our brother an idiot or worse because he's posted some ridiculous tirade on social media, which of course he can. You can, she can post whatever the hell she wants, right? We've all been given this platform to reach one another. Give it over to the Holy Spirit. That's what's going on right now on this YouTube channel that you're watching. What you see before you is a pixelated image on your screen. It's an assemblage of dots. How they all form, I have absolutely no idea. When something lands for you, it is your inner teacher speaking to you. This is simply one of many forms that your inner teacher uses to communicate with you. Just one of many. So let's say just a couple more words about cries for help, calls for healing and help, anything that's not loving, any thought that is not loving, wholly loving, is an appeal for healing or help. Our appropriate response is to extend healing and help, the miracle of true forgiveness, love, to our brother. When we don't, we're presuming something that's very dangerous and that we're quite often, all too often, completely unaware of. When we respond with anything other than healing or help to our brother's behavior, whatever form that may take, we're assuming the right to attack his identity. We're assuming the right to attack his reality by interpreting it as we see fit. We're assuming the right to judge. And we don't have the right to judge. The danger to you in doing this is huge. So it's worth paying particular attention to. We're only judging ourselves when we assume the right to judge and label someone else. We're labeling ourselves, we're damaging our mind. We're damaging our own mind because our brother is us. Quite simply, there is no separation of any kind. It's not for us to assume that we can just attack. We're responding to our own interpretation of what's appearing on the screen of life. We're not responding to reality itself. We don't see things as they are. So, this course aims to help us correct that perception. How practically do we do it? Forgiveness. True forgiveness is the way. It's how we do it. When something arises in your experience that simply triggers this instinct to judge, notice it. It is an opportunity for forgiveness, and then forgive what's coming up. Your brother, his tweet, the platform Twitter, or I guess it's now called X or something. Forgive the platform, forgive the internet. How about that? Forgive the world, the ego, space, time, and everything that appears. All of it. Anything that's not wholly joyous is an opportunity for us to forgive. Enter the real practical importance of our awareness, of our present moment awareness. Right here in the context of true forgiveness, right here in the context of A Course in Miracles, we see the real practical importance of all of these meditation practices, of these mindfulness practices that people talk about in various spiritual traditions. They're a thing for a very good reason. We can see this here, and you could choose to really take this to heart, and I hope you do. We judge all of the time. All of these moments where we are judging are opportunities for us to catch ourselves in the act, honestly, to recognize what's going on and apply the antidote, to apply the healing remedy, true forgiveness. The more you recognize what's going on, the more you're aware of it, the more you can forgive. We're on autopilot the vast majority of the time, just randomly judging and condemning and getting caught up in the moment and then going off to the next item for judgment and condemnation, so on and so on. And we're not aware. So it's very important to become aware as you can be right here in the present moment. So that's a practical reason why meditation's a thing. This course is all about practical application. Even though it's over 1,000 pages long, when you put together its three main components, there are also two supplements, which simply add to the page total. So, despite all of those words, the ideas themselves are extraordinarily simple. It's the point. We introduce all of the complications ourselves, and when we lash out and judge and react to our own interpretations of things rather than things as they are, we further blind ourselves. We stay stuck. So the invitation goes out to each and every one of us to get ourselves unstuck, one act of true forgiveness at a time. Where does this get exponential? Where does this get quantum in a manner of speaking? Well, you can broaden each act of forgiveness. You can forgive the ego. You can forgive all people, or just one, or all. You can generalize. You can move from the very specific, I forgive the dog for going to the bathroom on the carpet this morning, very specific, to general, I forgive the world. You can begin to generalize your forgiveness. It can get bigger, in a manner of speaking, and expansive. If you don't find yourself able to do that, that's perfectly okay. Because what's really cool is that every act of forgiveness is equally powerful. Forgiving the dog for going to the bathroom on the carpet is just as powerful as forgiving the ego, space, time, everything that appears here, vast universes and stuff. There is no order of difficulty in miracles. Sentence 1 of the text. It's very interesting that that is how Jesus chooses to start out chapter 1 of the text. There is no order of difficulty in miracles. If you find today that you're able to forgive what appears to be something small and very specific, forgive that. And then you'll be presented with the next forgiveness opportunity, and the next, and the next, and the next. Next. We're all invited simply to keep going. What's true are loving thoughts. Every loving thought is true. All right. So thank you, as always, for tuning in. And again, I want to wish you and your family, well, and everyone, a Merry Christmas. It's December 25th today as I record this. So I want to invite you as well as we go through these videos and as you study and practice this material to please feel welcome to ask questions. It's very, very important. It's an important part of the path that if we have a question that we ask. Because one of the things that's really, really cool about modern social media and the internet is you can reach somebody on the other side of the world that you're highly unlikely to meet in person in this lifetime. With your question, because I guarantee you there's somebody else on this spinning ball of rock that has the same question, and this person or these people will benefit tremendously from your asking. It's a very positive way to have a tremendous and far-reaching impact on people's lives. So if you have questions, please feel welcome to ask them. If you have not yet subscribed, please do so. I'd love to have you join us here. What we've got is a growing community. Thank you to all of you who have recently joined us. This prompt right here in the corner of your screen is the way to do that. When you click or hover over that arrow, you'll be invited to subscribe and join us. Please do. And thank you, as always, for tuning in. I will see you all again very soon.